to another episode of Making a Crapsterpiece. This film series is really helping upstart filmmakers.
Totally.
With how to make the most amazing and genuine and emotional crapsterpieces that they have within them.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard from ones of twos of people that this thing is really making a difference. So we want to thank all the viewers of Making a Crapsterpiece here on A Crap from the 80s. Just like the other episodes, we have another episode. A member of Low Budget Pictures / Warlock Home Video. We have Heather Maxon here to talk about one of her favorite filming experiences, which just happens to be wet heat. Yes, we did have Casey talk about wet heat, but the thing about this show is anybody can pick any title that they had a great time making, even if we have talked about it before, because everyone is going to have their own perspective. They're going to have their own thoughts about it. You know, someone might come out and say, I don't want to talk about Wet Heat because I didn't have the best time making that, but that's okay because Heather did, Casey did, and they can talk about other movies as well that they had a good time with. So here, we're going to talk about Wet Heat again, but from Heather Maxon's perspective. So we heard where sort of Wet Heat was marinating in my brain on the Casey episode. We know how it was coming about and why I wanted to do it and what was the whole premise of it, and it was basically Terminator meets Escape from New York, and then I think there was one other movie that Total Recall, that we smashed together and made Teen Ape like this amazing action hero. In that episode, we did mention that it was the first appearance of Leo DeChamp.
Yes.
Who I deliberately changed drastically throughout the years because Leo was very different in this movie, and then I made him far more goofy and ridiculous and stupid and insane as the years went on. But this was the first Leo thing, and then so we have a robot, we have a Terminator, and I don't remember, other than wanting it to be like Terminator 3, where we had the female Terminator, and it just made sense because of Teen Ape and his,
his whatever
weird obsession, love-hate relationship with women in general, and I don't know, whatever Teen Ape's thing was, it just made logical sense that the Terminator that would be after him would be a female. And then we explain it in the movie.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly. As much as I was willing to explain or even wanted to explain. Because I was all about the jokes, baby. I was all about them jokes. That's all I gave a shit about. So I don't remember... I assume I came to you and just said, hey, do you want to play this robot, this Terminator? I don't know if you have a different remembrance of how that all got started. Why did you pick Wet Heat to talk about today, Heather?
Well, Truth, if I remember correctly, and I may not, apologies, but you came to me, you sort of gave me a brief outline of what the movie was about, and then the moment you said Terminator-type character, I was jumping up and down, raising my hand, in my head, of course, because I love Terminator 3, I love her character, and I legit ran and watched that movie 1,000 times so I could get all of her movements and try to maintain being that stoic but still, in a sense, try to make it funny, even though I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. I put my total faith in you that my one line would, having one line and having the rest of my whole character just being this stoic whatever would work.
I do remember you being very excited about it.
I was. Yes. And then you said, we're going to bring you in the same way they brought her in. She's just going to appear. And I was so excited about that because at the time we were shooting it, for people without a whole lot of money for a budget to make a movie, I didn't really think that was something that was easily done. And I just really wanted to see myself go from nothing to something and then rise up like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a terrible effect.
It was fantastic.
It's very cheap. Anybody can do it. And it's interesting now you brought that up because there are like really shitty CGI effects in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering why that guy who did those effects didn't do something for that scene.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought it was going to
be... So maybe we thought he was going to and he just didn't.
But it's still cool though. It was still the whole... You're not there, and then you're there, slowly coming in, and I got to be in the pose, and I got to come up and, do that whole thing, and it was fun, and...
Yeah. So go into your, what do you remember about making Wet Heat?
Probably the reason why I enjoyed it the most was, honestly, because of Leo's introduction. A lot of the fighting went down between me and Leo, and it was just really cool. And as I had read your script, I was just going, how are we going to pull this off? How am I going to pull this off? How is Chris going to make this look like I'm an actual robot? How are we going to do the fighting? I just wanted to know and to see the outcome. And Leo being introduced in that was just perfect. And the only thing I didn't really like about filming it is when we filmed on the baseball field and it was 30 degrees because it was October. That kind of sucked, and I was in a next to nothing with leather pants that were not warm.
Yeah, what's funny is that when Casey and I talk about in our episode, we really enjoyed shooting all that stuff. Because
you had clothes on.
Well, we did mention... I think Casey does say you probably didn't enjoy it as much because you were half naked through the whole thing. But it was a very creative scene for all of us because we were all playing different characters. We were playing good guys, we were playing bad guys, and there was just a real burst of action and creativity throughout that whole scene, regardless of how cold it was, which we do mention. But my aunt did bring hot cider and donuts. I do remember that.
That was magical. It was just so hard to stay very still-ish when I was shaking.
Yeah. I mean, you can see our breath. I mean, it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when we were, doing that shit.
That's why you didn't have me talk, because robots don't breathe. I don't think you can see my breath in it.
Oh.
I don't know. I want to go back and find out now.
Yeah, you have to...
Did I really commit to that character? Was I method in that character? I tried to be. I tried very hard.
I don't know.
But it was just a fun experience. Was it the first one that we shot all down here? Or no, Karaoke Kid was the first we shot all the way down here. Or did we shoot that half here and half Rochester? I don't remember. That's bad.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, there's like a little bit in Rochester. There's like the beginning is in Rochester. It's at RIT.
Yeah, okay.
And then everything else is Wellsville.
Yeah. People knew that we were shooting. It was the first time that people in this area really seemed moderately interested that we were shooting a movie in this area, and they were kind of, we want to know what's going on, and especially when we were shooting at the baseball field. And the
they
police station's right there.
They had to let us in, remember? They were very cool about it.
All the cops were with their coffee and donuts watching us on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Going, what the hell are we watching?
Anytime I would come back to Wellsville to do something, it was very easy. Like, nobody... They were all like, oh, it's that... You know, you used to make movies. I remember you, that type of thing. So we've never really had an issue shooting down here. And we've shot a lot of stuff down here.
Yes, we have.
Because again, Wellsville lends itself to a lot of these films, the storytelling, the type of atmosphere that I'm going for, a lot of 80s feelings and that nostalgia. It's here in this town still. And it's just great to know that we're not going to get in trouble, you know.
You sure about that? Didn't we get in trouble, Megan, when we were on the Alfred? When we were at the Sinclair factory.
We didn't get in trouble.
I thought we were when we went into that one little section. I thought somebody that was off where the school part was more came over and told us we couldn't be in there, so we had to move over or something.
Maybe, but we didn't get in trouble. I mean, we didn't leave. I don't know.
We never leave.
The only there was only one movie that, you know, we're not going to talk about where it didn't go off the way it should have, thanks to Heather.
Sorry.
But other than that, it's so easy to shoot down here. And it was great production value. To be able to go out and shoot on that diamond, that baseball field, was very cool. To not have to worry about lighting and anything because all of the overhead lighting was on, so it was really bright. It just, I don't know. For me personally, I had a really great time during the ending of that shoot. But, you know, we're not here to talk about me liking the movie. We're here to talk about Heather liking Wet Heat.
Yeah.
So again, what was it about it that really made you come out of it going, that was a hell of a shoot, you know?
Just, a lot of it had to do with the way that we all kind of meshed together, because I think that was the first time that Kurt was in something bigger, because he wasn't in Karaoke Kid and the movie that will not be named. I can't remember the order that we shot all
Kurt was in that movie. In the movie that should not be named.
Well, oh yeah, but...
He's Bubbles.
Oh yeah.
No, Kurt was doing movies with us in 2006. This Wet Heat was the end of 2007.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
I had done Teen Ape Goes to Camp.
Oh yeah, okay.
In summer.
See, I wasn't in that one,
take
so I
a break,
forget.
And then we went right into Wet Heat.
Okay. Well, I think it was the first time that I got to work with
Well,
Kurt.
It was the first Billy.
Oh, yeah, it was the first Billy. It was the first Josh.
No, it wasn't.
Was it? It wasn't?
The first Josh. The first movie that Josh Swire was in was Karaoke Kid.
Oh, God, yeah, sorry.
And the second one was the movie that should not be named. And that was 2006.
Okay, so it was just the first Josh as Leo. So it was the first Leo.
Yes,
but not
definitely the first Leo.
I think
Billy, it was the first time you had worked with Billy.
Yes. And I mean, working with Billy is always an interesting affair. I guess a lot of it was that I hadn't worked with those guys in that type of character before. You know, that I think that the character like Kurt played was a really good type of character for him. I think that if he ever pursued acting, he would have been really good in a character like that. As with Josh and Leo. And I don't know about Billy and his character, but Billy's just good anyway. And I liked Meredith in that kind of a role. Jessie, she was in it too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, see, wow. It was cool to see something completely different from you, too. Something that was mashing a bunch of really cool
Sci-fi,
movies together. It was just a new experience compared to everything else that we had done. I think prior to that, you know, you had me play either the love interest, because, yeah, because Karaoke Kid was love interest, Ski Wolf was love interest, the movie that will not be named was not love interest, but, whatever. That never happened. And whatever else we did, I was that type of character, and this was the first character that I got to be the badass in, and I love playing the badass. It's my favorite role to play, as you know. So, and it didn't even, when I read the script and I saw I had pretty much one line, I didn't even care. It's like, I get to be the Terminator, whatever. It was fine. I just wanted to see the finished product. That was, out of all the movies we made, that was the one I wanted to see the finished product of the most. And not just because of me. I just wanted to see how you took that mashup and made it yours. And it was just, it was cold. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, but do you remember during the day, it was really hot?
Yeah, which was weird.
I remember a couple of you guys were getting, sunburned.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I got really bad sunburn.
But you browned, whereas Meredith, redded. She turned red.
Which was weird because I always red, too. But I browned instead, and I thought, okay, well, maybe as a robot, I turned brown. So, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was such a weird October.
Was it October?
It was October.
It
was October.
For some reason, I thought it was, September.
No, that was the one thing that I know for a fact it was in October, because we were really surprised that it was so hot during the day and that it got so cold at night.
Okay.
There's a chance that I'm wrong, because you made it so you would know better.
Yeah, but we thought it was September. I don't know.
I'm almost positive that it was in October.
All right.
But yeah, it might be September. But it was a weird weather thing.
Upstate
Anomaly. 90 during the day, 30 during the night. Yeah. Welcome to New York.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember, all you girls kind of, we would cut, and you guys would run, put coats on.
Yeah, there's so many
sit there
pictures
with,
of all of us.
coffees and stuff like that, and then, okay, and then you'd throw the jacket off and get back out there.
Yeah, Meredith and I wearing no sleeves.
Yeah, well, and Jessie. Remember Jessie? She's in that weird cutoff.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of us just huddled. They're adorable pictures, but we were really cold. But it was just it was a good experience. There was a lot of firsts in it, and it was just good times. Good times.
Yeah.
And I love playing that character. You should bring her back, even though I exploded. That was probably my favorite thing to see, honestly.
That cheesy CGI.
Yes. Yeah. It was cool. It's not often I get to fight with Meredith. I think that was the first time I actually had a fight with Meredith. Have you had me do it since? I don't think you've had me.
With Meredith?
Yeah, with any character that Meredith has played.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's fun because we worked it out so well together, and it ended up looking fantastic, I think.
Interesting. Why weren't you in Moist Fury?
What year was that?
2010.
I know in 2010 I moved back from Rochester to Wellsville, and I was also shooting another movie during 2010.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't remember why I wasn't in that one.
That was summer 2010, but then fall 2010 we did that shitty, Evil Dead crappy redneck thing.
Oh God.
That SRS wanted us to make. So it's interesting that you were in that, but you weren't in the movie about an all-girl gang who fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. there had to be something. I might have been shooting Neverender at that point, and that was one hell of a schedule. We took a long time to film that movie.
Okay.
And I was moving back to Wellsville, and I was getting ready to shoot my short because I was freaking out that I was going to turn 30 and I still hadn't shot anything that I had written. So it might have just been the transitional whatever time or something.
Yeah, just,
or
I just
work.
thought about that because you do like playing
I do.
hard asses, and that was a bunch of chick fighters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You should make Moist Fury 2.
No.
Okay.
No. We can throw you in as a badass in anything, you know what I mean?
As long as it's
So
Scarlet.
it doesn't have to be Moist Fury.
Let's just make a Scarlet movie.
With lots of sex.
Oh.
Yes, I can see it now.
As long as I have a double. A body double.
No way.
Yes!
No, it's got to be all raw. You've got to show the audience that it's you. You are, you know.
Brother, the audience don't want to see that.
You are the audience. Yes, you are a true actress.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Sorry, guys, I tried.
And he's going to keep trying. He may crack me at one point.
Forever and
Maybe.
ever and ever.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. If he gives up, I'll be really sad. Let's put it that way. Then I'll know our relationship is broken.
If I go, ugh.
Yeah. Then I'll know it's time for me to jump off a building. Learn how to fly.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would ever say that. Maybe. Gruh. Gruh. No. Please don't ever say that. I would be so sad. But anyway, so Wet Heat.
Wet Heat.
Yes. The one movie that I've been in that my mom still thinks is a porn. Of course, she's never seen it. And
Yeah, you know what? There's nothing. Casey and I were talking about that. There is nothing in Wet Heat that is like a usual teen ape fare. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even the usual misogyny is gone, because at that point I was really like fed up with doing teen ape, with writing teen ape, the teen ape character, and Wet Heat and Teen Ape Goes to Camp were the official last teen ape films.
Or so you thought.
Unfortunately, we did 2 more things that had teen ape in them, and they both suck. But and they shouldn't have been made. But at that point, and still in my heart, those 2, like Teen Ape Goes to Camp was going to be like his last like real trashy misogyny teen ape, and then Wet Heat was more for Casey, because he really he always wanted to have Teen Ape be like this action star, and he just always pushed Teen Ape to be like, I want to do this, and you know, so that was the focus was on that, as opposed to all the shenanigans that Teen Ape always did. So Wet Heat is essentially a very level film that doesn't have any sex or any of that shit in it.
Just me,
you know,
ripping out hearts.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
Yeah, so you could have shown your mom that movie. You know, there's really nothing other than the language. There's nothing in it that is like even remotely. There isn't.
I guess maybe I could. I don't even have a copy of it anymore, so give me a copy and maybe.
Well, I was gonna say, like, do you remember like the first time you saw it? Because back in the day, we would try to.
You had to get together.
Yeah, we'd try to watch it with everybody as best we could once it was finished.
So that had to be how it was.
I'm trying to remember. It was 2007. It was 13 years ago, almost 14 years ago.
I was just a young pup.
River was born that year.
Yeah.
March of that year. That's why there were only 2 movies made. Because we usually like tried to rip through 5 or 6 movies a year, and that was a slow year because my baby was born. Wow. Yeah. Wet Heat. Do you remember, like, when's the last time you saw it? I wonder how you would see it now.
I need to watch it again because it has been a very long time since I've seen it. A few years ago, I put together a mishmash trailer type thing of all the movies I had been in up to the last one, which was the one where I was Skirt and did the thing with Kurt with the boobies. What movie was that?
That was Geek War.
Geek War.
So that was 2010.
Okay, so 2010 was approximately the last. Well, no, I showed it to Jamie. So 2011.
Okay. All right.
That was the last time I saw it because I brought Jamie into the world in 2011.
Through your vagina.
Yes.
Yes. You were pregnant with Jamie.
I birthed her into this world.
Yes.
And ironically, she plays my mom now. How did that happen?
Brought her into the group
Yes.
in 2011. Yes.
The
Okay.
Damon.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I recently watched it.
I need to.
It's still really funny. Like if we would have had a budget and it was shot the way we do things now.
I could have been metal.
Yes.
Robot arms, man. Come on.
But I mean, at that point, certainly for us to have that shitty CG in the movie was hilarious.
It was awesome.
It was so funny to see in a Chris Seaver movie. It was just like, this is ridiculous, but very cool. As chintzy as the CG is, it just added to the buffoonish element of the whole movie.
Yeah.
I still think the backdrop is great. I think, both Casey and I said it's still comically, character-wise, it still holds up. And it's fun to watch. It's not one of those movies where I, cringe when I'm watching it. And I have a lot of those movies that I've made that I do that too.
We all do.
But Wet Heat is, it's still held up as very entertaining.
Yeah, I do need to. You need to get me a new copy of it because I have no idea where my copy is.
Do you have any of your films?
Maybe. I think I have a old DVD, like burned DVD copy of Geek War. And...
Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably don't have the new version.
No.
There was a new version. I re-edited the movie.
Which one? Wait,
Geek War.
Oh, Geek War?
In 2014, I re-edited
I've
it.
not seen that version.
I mean, it's almost the same, but it has color correction.
Oh, okay.
It's just a tad tighter. It has a few different angles because we did different coverage. So it's different, same scenes but different angles. Okay. It's got special features. So yeah, I guess I'd have to, I should make a list and figure out what to get you because, I hear that a lot. Desiree also, she was like, I don't have half the movies I was in because I've moved, people have taken them, people have borrowed them and never, gotten it back, or I've destroyed it on, on accident, someone did this to it.
Oh, yeah, they get ruined really fast.
You need to just designate an area to have your LBP Warlock filmography.
Listen, brother, in my defense, all of my LBP Warlock movies that I had, which I didn't even have all of them that I was in, I've never even seen a couple of them that I've been in, so there's that. They were all in a big binder with the rest of my DVDs. I let Jamie borrow it at one point. Either that or I just took it to her house so we could watch some of that stuff, and I never got it back. So, she still has it, I think.
Jamie, I'll find you.
But I may have a copy of Geek War kicking around this house somewhere.
Well, I'll get you on the new version.
Thanks.
Because it is slick. It looks a lot better with the color timing and the tighter edit.
Yeah, and I love movie. I love Karaoke Kid. I love Wet Heat. I would love to go back and watch them. I go and watch the trailers. And like Deathbone, I go and watch those trailers all the time, even though they're 140.
I don't know what is going on there. Like a lot of those trailers just look so terrible.
They do, but I go and I watch them just all the way through, and just to get the memories, and then I go and watch the little thing that I made with all this stuff that I've been in. And just to get those memories, to recall all those fun memories.
I'm about to put up the table read of Ski Wolf.
We did that?
Yeah, I'm about to just...
When do we do things like table reads? Come on.
Throw it up on the channel.
Wow. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
What
it was interesting.
that?
It was very cool. 2008.
So, and at that point I know I had turned 28 because it was winter.
It certainly was.
It was definitely winter. So I was 28, but I look like I was 12.
You do.
Do I still look like I'm 12?
You look like you're 14.
Yes!
You've grown a couple inches.
Do I look like a 40-year-old?
People? You tell us in the comments.
No, oh God, no, wait, no, don't do that. My bad. No, sorry.
I can edit it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, back to normal now.
So yeah, so wet heat, man. So anything else before we go? Anything that you particularly remember? Anything good? Anything bad during the making of what ultimately ended up being a good experience?
Do you remember how creepy it was that whenever we would go in that one part of the Sinclair factory and all of our equipment would stop working because it was haunted? You remember that?
No.
Yes, that was like the whole point of why people would go down there with cameras or anything, because there was that was why we didn't film in there, because every time we went in the building itself, the camera equipment would stop working. So that's why we filmed in the shitty building that was falling down, the wooden part that was falling down.
But I think ultimately I liked that area.
Well, yeah, there was
'Cause it
obviously
really
that. It looked fantastic.
Cool.
And it was really dark in the actual
Interesting.
Sinclair building, but that was part of the reason.
I don't remember that. And I've shot in the Sinclair building, but I mean back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, I took I had my little mini DV camera, and I took it in there, and it just battery drained immediately. And that's a very common thing with that part of the Sinclair factory.
I mean, you know, I wouldn't doubt it. Who knows how many souls are stuck in that area?
Yes,
you know?
many.
We had a toxic the Sinclair building here in Wellsville was a very bad, shady establishment. Weird stuff, but great production value. You know, when I was growing up making movies, backyard movies with my VHS cameras, we used that place a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we would encounter like some very creepy people. There were always like these weird like, and we didn't believe them, so we didn't end up leaving. But there were always these old crone-looking dudes who were like, "Hey, you know, you can't shoot in here.
Yep.
You know, what are you guys doing? Are you gonna, you know, who knows what they thought we were doing?" But we were just like, what is going on here? You know, who are you people?
Porn in the Sinclair factory.
Ooh. Even for me.
Even for him.
I wouldn't do that. No way.
No.
That was creepy.
Very.
You know, every now and again, I wonder, like, if I had like adult ailments, if it was because of the Sinclair building or swimming in that.
Probably.
In our whatever, is that a river?
Genesee River.
The Genesee River, yeah. Like,
yes, it's full of nuclear waste.
Like who the fuck knows? Because do you remember the Wellsville regatta that we always had year after year? Yeah,
and the trout derby.
I would think like, how many like people get affected in their adulthood because we were in that water?
Yeah, the trout derby, and they put in nuclear radioactive fish. And they all seeped into the bottom foundation of the Sinclair factory, and that's why it sort of burned down, and that's why a whole bunch of people died, which is sad, but it's a great place to film.
It is.
When your camera equipment stays working.
You know, scenery-wise, it's a really cool-looking area.
Now we couldn't even get into it. You can't even get back there. Yeah. They are
that's probably okay.
Yeah.
We got it. We put it on film.
Yes.
You know?
It's even more dilapidated now.
That's great.
It's horrible, but it looked great, and it was fun to film there. Wait, do you remember where we broke the window? Put the head through the window?
Oh, yeah.
That was great. That was we had to look around to make sure that nobody was watching that part.
Yeah, but I mean, there was already like glass all over the place. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was definitely fucked with.
It's one of those things where okay, there's 10 broken glass windows, 1 or 2 that aren't broken. Is it okay to do it?
Yeah,
you have that moment of morality where you go,
It looks cool.
It does. I remember. Wait, whose head was it that went through it?
I think it's Josh.
Yeah. Okay, and it was Meredith that put his head through. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember him he was so worried.
Well,
He's just gonna hurt.
Meredith was worried because she hates blades. She hates anything like sharp like that.
They were so worried, but it looked great.
Yeah.
And the rage on her face. She's so good at non-resting bitch face.
Yeah, and we had those like fake guns that looked real.
Yes.
And so when you fired them, the bullet casings flew out.
Dude, those were so hard to find. You remember the journey that you and I went on to find those guns? When the internet was not really a thing, but still a thing.
I do remember an internet searching for...
Those were so hard to find, and so hard to find at not exorbitantly crazy prices.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
See, you're bringing more stuff up, you know?
I'm surprised I remember it. Because my memory from my 20s...
I have a very good memory, but sometimes making these movies, and I think it's just because of how fast we make them.
Yeah.
So it's like, what pieces can you just slip from those 2 or 3 days of just nonstop shooting? Yeah.
Mostly the movies from my 20s that I did with you. That's the only thing that I remember specifics of. Although I never remember the date that we made them, or really, the only one I remember the year of is Karaoke Kid, because I remember I moved back from California in 2005.
Yes,
that's all I
shot
remember.
Karaoke Kid in 2006.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah.
So your first movie back was Destruction Kings in 2005.
Yes, but I always forget that. I only remember Karaoke Kid.
It was a tiny, it was a tiny bit.
Yes.
Very sensual.
Sure.
A very gross scene. But you looked fantastic.
Thanks.
Remember that makeup?
No.
You don't? Okay, well you were a zombie.
Oh!
And we actually had like people who knew what they were doing makeup.
Oh yeah, I vaguely,
So you were like remember. This ghoulish blue zombie eating out a zombie pussy.
Let's not forget, Chris, I had literally just moved back from California, so although I was nice and tan, I do remember them having a hard time working with my skin because I was super, super tan.
Yeah.
But then it went away.
Yeah. Good times.
After Karaoke Kid. It went away. But it's good. But that's the only way I remember a lot of my late 20s is by the stuff that we did. I don't remember the year, I just remember, oh yeah, we did Ski Wolf, and that's right, I remember pieces of Ski Wolf and pieces of Karaoke Kid and blah blah blah. But that's it. I don't remember other things I did during my 20s that weren't, unless they were horrible.
Well, very interesting, you know what I mean? Like, these are like timepieces.
They are.
It's like instead of a photo, you've got a movie. You're like, this was, I remember this. Oh my God, interesting. Yeah, to come away with like such a, oh.
I totally just remembered the reason why you specifically, we specifically did the whole Terminator character the way that she looked, because you said 2 words to me that at the time were my always Halloween costume and my love of my life, Tomb Raider.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was the look that I was going for, but we said, take Tomb Raider and make her look metallic. So black leather pants and a gray striped corset. Looks metallic, apparently. Yes, I remember that now, because I always did Tomb Raider as my Halloween costume. So I already had that sort of look down.
Did you have boots?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Were they boots? Were you wearing the boots out in the field? Like during the action stuff, or did you we just switched? I can't remember.
I don't remember that. I would have to check again. Like when I first come in with the card, I don't even know if you see.
I don't know.
I think
you walk away when you were first introduced.
Yeah, but I think the only shot where you see all of me is on the baseball field. When Meredith and I back up enough so that we can explode. But if I had the boots on, I don't think they were over the leather pants. But but I'm not really sure.
Interesting.
But yeah, wow. See, that's weird. I totally had forgotten that was part of the basis of that character, or where I pulled it from.
I totally
at least.
forgot. That's for sure. I mean, I remember Tomb Raider because that definitely was something you looked like. you would have pictures. There were pictures that you took. You had like pretty much dead-on costumes of Tomb Raider. So I do remember that, but it's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember us being like, Tomb Raider, but Terminator.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
And now we remember. And now it's like weird. Another piece of my brain is back in my brain.
Yeah.
It's like I change out the floppy disks every decade.
Yeah. I wonder if I should probably go back and see if there's a commentary on that disc and see what the hell we were saying then.
You should.
I
would be intrigued to
see what to glean out of that, because that would be interesting if like all this other stuff comes. Like, what? We did that?
I feel like there would be a lot of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
A lot of memories that we have buried very deep for whatever reason. And I think a lot would come out. Especially for the movies between 2005 and 2010. Because I know at that time I was trying to be in as much as I could that you would make, as often as I could get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet there's a lot of deeply buried memories. It'd be fun to dig up. Let's go pick at that wound.
Yeah. Well, I mean, next time we get together, I should just bring a crap ton of movies and we should just go down memory lane.
Memory lane.
Memory lane.
Let's go down memory lane. All right.
All right. Anything else?
If you don't already own it, go get yourself a copy.
Yeah, it's out there, folks. You can find
It's a
Wet
great
Heat.
movie that I might actually show my mom now.
Just
Chris
know
says
it's
okay.
it's very low budget. It's just a real cheesy romp, good goofy time, and if you like that type of B movie, then go check it out. It's called Wet Heat. It is on a double feature DVD with another of my films called Film Crew, which was a hell of a time to make as well. Super fun.
Another one I wasn't in for some reason.
That was 2006 was Film Crew, and Wet Heat is 2007. So, yeah. Well, yay! So thanks, Heather, for joining us on this episode of Making a Crapsterpiece and talking about Wet Heat.
I can't wait to talk about the next Crapsterpiece.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Everyone will be back talking about another Crapsterpiece they had a good time making. And hopefully you guys have been enjoying this little series on the channel. And yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for subscribing. Tell your friends. Tell your lovers. Tell your exes. Tell everybody.
Tell your exes, lovers.
That's right. To come check out A Crap from the 80s. And thanks again. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone. Bye. Wet heat, wet heat.
Girls kicking ass. Yeah.